actually had, which then was asked by two different people as well, was about drums. I know you got live drums set up. You guys are recording some live drums. How much is it actually a live drum part? How much is it samples? Are you doing different pieces of things, different songs? I'm just always, someone who came from playing in bands and recording drums and doing all that, figuring out how to create live elements. There's also a question about liveness of records, but can you talk about drums generally? How did you guys do that? How did you think about that? How did you put those things together?
So across the record as a whole, it's all live drums somewhere in there, and then of course samples being layered in, or like on this first song of the record, I could talk about like Sushi and As It Was is kind of two different things, and then like for something like Late Night Talking on there, like that was just Tom playing from the top down, and any mistakes were just punched, and it's full drum take. You can look at it. It's he did a couple takes. I think there was some comping, and just like that was it. And that song has that feel, so it's a little bit more live feeling, has that kind of feel to it.
It's like a multi-mic setup. You got like
multi-mics. Yeah, we were at Shangri-La. Jeremy must have put 12 mics on it really went to town on kind of a classic rock kind of drum mic setup, but we would still then curate the mics that sounded the best. Turn up
Shangri-La, the Rick Rubin studio in Malibu.
Yeah. Turn up the mics that sounded the best to suit the thing, and watching him do that. But so something like Late Night Talking was very much Tom, like that's like Tom playing the whole thing to himself. He's like one-man band, kind of like, all right, now I'm gonna jump on bass. Something like Sushi was very interesting. So Mitch Rowland had that bass line, and he started playing just a basic drum beat, and I was like, already we're just back to this, we're too normal now. And I found this drum machine loop that a producer friend of mine had kind of given me, Doug Showalter, and I put it in Ableton and retimed it, and it's got this like slushy kind of sound, and I really liked how that with the bass line swung the whole thing and was abnormal, and the kicks were abnormal. So that was like an example of how we would use like drum loops and stuff from or drum samples. But normally,
so the live drums were too straight, basically. Like you usually think of like live drums are too straight and too normal, so you use loops with weird warping and things.
Yeah, there was like
interesting.
Yeah, because in the thing it's going like, it's this like, it's really this slushy, it's like, it's like the auditory thing of like drinking a Slurpee or something. It's like there's like just so much like noise crackling, there's not a lot of transient to it, so it's kind of this like noise thing, but it's still got some sort of head bob to it, versus it's not like a drum loop, it's more like almost like a texture that helped give the whole feel. And then we just added like sample kick, just like a cowbell, and then Mitch played live hi-hats. Like, so that's all the kind of the live drums, or just the hi-hats. And then for As It Was, that was a really good one of like, you hear in the drum beat, we're like searching for the song, and Tom's playing a bunch of different things, or I'm kind of playing the keys and stuff. And here he's singing, and what it ended up being was like, Tom found the drum beat, but like recorded kick individually, snare individually, hi-hats individually, but the whole but we mapped to the pattern of his live kind of performance, like so.
So he played a live thing first, and then you went back and it was like,
yep.
So it was a variation. It wasn't like you took one and then chopped it. He actually played.
Oh no, he literally just played one and then he played it around. But all the fills, which there's not that many, but still that came from like a thing, and I think, and that was interesting because that was like just like in a house, and it was like those we thought were kind of like, those were the hardest we had to work for drum tones. Dude, it was a very boxy room, and we were just like, these drum tones suck. And so so that's why we ended up having to do like one like kick individually, snare individually, hi-hat individually, layer samples in, like everything, because just the kit on its own, unlike Late Night Talking, with just the kit on its own, it was like, wow, sounds great. But here it was like, these suck so much, but it ended up being very charming to me. Like when I hear those drums on that record, I'm like, these are charming sounding. They have like a uniqueness to them that is like not quite that Lin drum thing, but not quite that live drum thing. It's like in the middle somewhere. Because we were kind of, chasing like a Phoenix-y MGMT kind of drums.
Wolfgang Amadeus Phoenix, the most underrated album for producers for the last like 20 years.
It's so good. It's so good.